American medical system just loves to make things so much harder than they need to be. But I guess that's just what it is, and we are going to try to get this resolved today. So, wish me luck. Hello, and welcome back to day, I don't know, 6 of Vlogmas here on the Remote Ramblers channel. I have missed you. We have missed you. This week was not the week we expected. Nothing about this week was something I could have imagined. Yeah, and it'll have a lot of ramifications moving forward, but anyways, let's dive into it. So I guess last week, maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday, my eyes started getting crusty, not crusty, but like sore. And I admittedly am not the best with my contacts, and we're in a very dusty environment, and so I just thought that I had like scratched my cornea. And yeah, nothing more than that. So I took my contacts out, put some glasses on, got some eye drops, was babying my eye. And on Thursday I was like, oh, you know, it's hurting a good bit, but I didn't do anything about it. Eye drops, just doing flushing and gel drops. And then finally by Sunday I was like, okay, something is not right. This is not, I've had a scratched eye before, and this just does not feel like that. And looked around at some places here in the Vegas area to try to find someone to deal with me, but it was Sunday, so everyone is closed. And yeah, anyways, we ended up back at Costco 2 days after our Costco video was filmed. And within a minute, first of all, never go as a walk-in on a Sunday in a Costco. It took hours, but which is fine, except there's lots of fluorescent lights and I have on sunglasses. But within minutes of getting into a room, she's like, oh yeah, you have uveitis. I have a scratched cornea. I just need some antibiotic drops. She was like, no, you have uveitis. And I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. But it is essentially a swelling of the eyeball caused by inflammation somewhere else in the body. So uveitis happens, I have since learned, as the result of an autoimmune disease in your body that's causing inflammation. And she gave me some information, and I think Sunday was like a very emotional day for me, you know, because I went in thinking I just had a scratched eye, and learned that it was not a scratched eye. In fact, it was something much more serious going on in my body that was just showing up in my eye. So she gave me some steroid drops, and I have been using them every 2 hours since I got them. And it has done wonders for the current state of my eye. So when I went in, it was like quite red, quite inflamed. In fact, I went back to another doctor's appointment just to get it checked to make sure that the steroid drops are doing what they're supposed to do. And he said that my eye was so swollen that my iris had pushed into the lens of my eye, and there was just now pigment from my iris floating around in my eye, which was one of the reasons why my eye has been so blurry since this all happened. Yeah. I wasn't prepared to hear this information. I spent a lot of that day like crying and quite emotional, and then just trying to figure out like next steps, because they just kept saying, oh, well, you like immediately need to get in with your primary care physician and get blood work done to figure out what is causing the inflammation in your body, and if you can't figure that out, then this will keep happening and it can cause, you know, vision loss. Which is a lot to hear and a lot to take in when you just thought you scratched your eye. So I tried my best the first day or two to like not look anything up, you know, just baby my eye, do what I'm supposed to do, sort of get through this. And then I went back to another appointment, and he confirmed it's definitely uveitis. And I was like, you know, what do you think would maybe cause this? And he gave me a few options, all of which sound scary, but one which sort of resonates with some other things that I've been experiencing in my body. And I have no idea how to say it. Every time I try to, it just sounds stupider. So I will put it here on the screen of what I have an inkling that it may be. Again, I don't know. I've not been tested. And I think one of the issues here is that because I don't have residency in any real state, and I don't have health insurance. I had health insurance when we lived in Illinois, but since we've moved, our insurance doesn't travel, and yeah, so I don't have health insurance. So I can't just go to a primary care physician and get a full blood panel. That's not really an option for me right now. So we will be doing that first thing whenever we get to Mexico. I already had a long list of things that I wanted to get tested for, and, you know, blood work that I wanted to get done, and just like your basic, like pap smear and all those things. So that is on the list. But there is like a sense of urgency and immediacy now because of this new situation. I'm not sure how much to share here about what I think it could be, but I think for a long time I've been having some really strange symptoms in my body that I just wrote off for a million different reasons, like, oh, you're really tired. Maybe that's because you didn't rest well, or, you know, you deal with insomnia, or maybe my body hurts all the time because I'm fat and I live in a large body, or maybe whatever. There's all these weird symptoms I've been having, but I guess maybe like a month and a half ago now, just when we were leaving Oregon and heading down into Nevada, I had this weird experience where like my lower hips and what I thought was my ovaries and I thought was a cyst, was just like so much pain. Like so much pain where I like couldn't stand up. And the more that I'm learning about what this could be, the more all of that sort of makes sense. And I cannot be the only one who has weird symptoms and for whatever reason hasn't gone to get them checked out, or has written things off of like, oh, well, that's normal, right? Like everyone feels that way, or whatever. But anyways, what I think I'm dealing with here is an autoimmune disorder that is a type of arthritis that targets the spine and joints, specifically around your hips and your ribs and other things like that. And I think over the years, if I like really let myself look at it, there was like a week where I could like barely pick anything up, and like Ben would have to like move pots and pans for me because my wrist would hurt so bad, or a day where like my elbow hurt so bad that I just started crying. And that is like not like me. I like generally have a pretty high pain tolerance. But yeah, like I said, I was just like making sense in my head in the only way I could of why this would be a thing. And so I guess 2 points here is it's frustrating when you feel like you're doing everything you can to sort of like maintain your health and take care of yourself, but you're just not getting the answers. You know, like when we had health insurance in Illinois, I like did the work. I went to the doctor's appointments. I got blood panels. I got allergy tests. I did all the things I could think to do, and everything was just coming back fine, normal, okay. You know, like I currently don't take any medications of any kind other than what I've learned is a lot of like painkillers and Tylenol and stuff like that. And I think that's very frustrating because it's like I thought I was doing, or I was doing everything I had the power to do for my own health. And nothing was coming back. And now because don't have insurance, you know, I don't have a lot of good options here in the US. So truly going to Mexico and being able to pay for care that is not something that will put us in debt for the rest of forever, is my best option. And it's a good option, you know, I'm very thankful for that. And the second thing is, if what I thought was a scratched cornea gets me to a place where I can live in my body without like pain and mass discomfort, I'm just so grateful. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional because every time I talk about this, I've been pretty emotional this week, but like there's so many things like I've not done or have not felt able to do because my body just like hurts, you know? And it feels like my body is trying to talk to me like, hey, there's something going on here. Let's look at this. So I'm really grateful for that. And I think I just like want to encourage you, if your body is trying to tell you something, if there are symptoms that you are writing off, maybe don't. You know, maybe there is something going on, like only you know your body. And yeah. maybe go get it looked at. And I understand that that is much harder for some people than others. I see that. I recognize that. But this is all we have, right? Like, our bodies are what we have to work with. And so anything we can do to take care of them, we should. Whew, okay. All of that said, we're going to start getting back here every day. I do a lot of the editing, and it was impossible for a few days for me to edit. It is still quite difficult for me to edit because my eye, while it looks much better, is still quite blurry. So editing is not a easy or fun task for me right now. But I want to be here. I want to keep showing up. And I thank you for being here and for you showing up. And we have some exciting things, you know, like Mexico won't just be beach and margaritas anymore. It may be beach margaritas and blood work. But yeah, there's space for that too, right? We also have a very fun video coming out tomorrow in the midst of all this craziness. I encouraged Ben to go hang out with our friends for a day, and they got into some shenanigans. So that will be tomorrow's video. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of our community. If you've made it through this sob story, then you should definitely make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because while this is like a sad-ish story, there's some really, really exciting and fun things coming soon. And we want you to be a part of it. So, thank you. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.